makers with us and actors in the film Hawk and Rev, Vampire Slayers. Can you guys introduce yourself and tell us about your movie?
Yeah, hey, I'm Ryan Barton Grimley. I'm the director and writer, and I play Hawk. And the guy you don't see is...
Oh, I thought you were saying, and sorry, go ahead.
and this is Ari Schneider.
Oh man, we messed up again. I'm Ari Schneider, and I play Rev. I'm a producer, and I'm also a composer on the film.
Thank God, thank God.
You did the music too? That's cool.
I did with the extremely talented Robbie Elfman, who is a partner in crime in music, and he can do anything. So hire him. Yes.
No, it was really
His
good.
last name is Elfman.
I always pay attention to music. I mean, obviously, who doesn't love music? But even more on indie films, I pay even more attention.
It's a big deal in comedy because it's really easy to screw up.
Yeah.
You know,
we had the luxury of being able to do kind of original stuff and then also pull from, things like Artlist and hopefully do justice to those awesome songwriters who just, let you license their stuff. And it was just, it worked out great. I mean, I feel like it worked out great. We had a lot of fun with the music.
I mean, I feel like it goes from John Carpenter all the way to Beyonce in the film, which is perfect for it. You know? So the film is it's a horror comedy. It's an homage to 80s horror, 80s action movies, and I would say 90s comedy. Kind of like early 90s Dumb and Dumber, Tommy Boy type kind of raunch. We weren't. There's a bit of 80s comedy in there, but I think it's more early 90s really. And I don't know, you can hear us cutting each other off and bantering, and that's pretty much what we do in the movie as well.
You can totally tell you guys are friends. Your characters, it's not explained how they meet each other other than they're doing the Swami thing on the beach. Yeah.
Well, that's Rev's attempt to try to help Hawk deal with his anger management issues. Which clearly goes awry pretty quick. But I think like a lot of people, they kind of, those two characters are odd ducks and they work with each other, and they're kind of the yin and the yang, and it kind of flip-flops through the movie a few times. And yeah, Ari and I, we're more than friends. We're practically related. So. Yeah,
for our sins. Yeah, that's true. It is true though. I mean, it's funny because I saw somebody talk about the film or do kind of like a review, and they were saying Rev is a vegan pacifist, and he was saying, I don't understand how a vegan is able to destroy vampires. And then he was doing this whole philosophical thing about but wait, they're undead, so maybe he could because they're not really living. I just thought that was just fascinating to hear.
Like a vegetable, kind of.
Yeah, just justify it. It was amazing. But that's I think the fun thing about Rev Scary, the character I play, is Ryan plays such a bullheaded, he's military. He wishes he was still in the military. He's kind of you kind of play like a, I don't know.
He's a poser. Hawk's a poser.
He's a poser, but I think Rev is in some way as well because, he sells himself off as this pacifist, but he probably gets more furious than any other character in that movie. And definitely gets in fights with you.
Oh, dude, my favorite scene is when Rev finally loses it when we try to confront what we think are vampires and our mentor's there, and Rev loses his shit. I mean, it is
one of the most uncomfortable scenes to do
ever. For our festival, we had our team watching it, and I just thought, we're going to screen this film. I don't care what you guys want to do. We're going to play it. I mean, I really love it because if I can say this, it reminded me of one of those movies on USA Up All Night or Joe Bob Briggs drive-in movie.
Yeah.
Z Channel, baby. Z Channel.
Yeah. And it, it kind of, I felt like the cast, the entire cast felt like, a fun family in the tradition of Repo Man. I really felt like, I love that movie.
Dude,
but
I love that movie.
Company.
Yeah.
I love the comedy in it. You know, you're talking about your favorite part in the movie is your lines. I don't know. It's in the warehouse, and you're just saying like lines from all these movies. I'm like, oh my God, this is hilarious. I was screaming at my TV. I was just howling like the coyotes outside. I got coyotes outside. But I was just like crazy. It was so freaking funny, man. You were just like obsessive on this. You just kept going on this tangent. And it felt like it wasn't scripted. It felt like you're just going off, dude.
Well, there were probably 20 lines scripted, and then at some point, everybody started throwing lines at me, like literally everybody behind camera.
One of our producers,
yeah.
The movies you didn't even know the lines to.
Yeah, some movies I was like, "What? I don't even know what that is." He's like,
"The best part is when
commit.
He didn't know the line, so he was delivering it in a way that was like, "That's not how it's delivered," and I think it made it even better because you hadn't seen the movie.
Well, like, I don't think I've seen.
No, you're like, nobody puts baby in the corner.
Yeah. Nobody.
I'm not sure at the time if you knew that was a dirty. I mean, I assume you. Who knows?
Yeah, which movie was that from?
That was Dirty Dancing.
Oh, Dirty Dancing. That's right.
Patrick Swayze.
Yeah. I remember that movie, but I mean, I hadn't seen it in probably. I mean, I was more of a Roadhouse Swayze fan. I thought Roadhouse was the greatest movie.
They're very similar.
Well, and then Ari, you had some a kind of like a banter like that towards the end of the film. I don't remember where you go off, but you just like starting popping off something very similar to that.
Is it? I'm trying to think of which of the banter. Just me just talking, just going off.
Yeah, it was. Anyways, it was
the
funny
vampires. I think what he's talking about. I think maybe when he's talking about vampires, like as if what do they do in their spare time, kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like walks on the beach and things like that. Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, I love
Ryan lets that happen. He lets us do that stuff, and grateful.
Well, dude, like at the end of the day, I mean, so it's an indie movie, so we're trying to pre-plan everything so it doesn't cost, more than the little money than we already have. So you plan absolutely every single thing, all the blocking and the storyboard everything, and you're trying to do all this stuff, and then at the end of the day it feels really stale when you're shooting, which gets really boring. So then I keep them like, as long as we have one or two versions that were written, like after that I kind of like certain stuff was a temp line, like this stuff with Brad Marshall, who plays one of the band members. When we first cut into the SUV, I mean, I don't even remember what was written there, but I remember saying to him, "Hey dude, like seriously, just go off and have fun. And the weirder the better, man. You know what it's about, just go for it." And that's what ended up in there, and it's so
it's probably one of the most memorable, like people have talked about that monologue as
well, it's astonishing. You just do not expect that. You expect this like full on, like they're gonna team up and get ready and load their guns or get their stakes out, and there he is talking about this. It's so funny.
How he gets that. So that Jack Bradley, that's my closest friend from childhood actually, and he's a musician. You should check him out. But he's not. I mean, he's an actor, but he doesn't really act much. But he was great, and because it was just kind of like just be weird and do your thing. And
he's a very funny guy. Like
he's hilarious. He's absolutely hilarious.
That's the guy with the red. Eyes? Okay.
Like that full like 80s, like yeah.
He got called out in a review actually. Somebody was doing a review of the movie and said they called him scrumptious, and I had to forward it to him. And so
he's an icon now.
Yeah, I love it.
That's awesome. I mean, so like we did all that stuff, but at the end of the day, without the music, but also the production design that like Audrey Haworth and David Rickabaugh, they're a couple, and they do all the art department and all this stuff. And I mean, we really spent a lot of time on that stuff too, to kind of have it all hold together and sort of mimic stuff from the movies that we love, sort of be a little cheesier than them, but then also be slightly surprising in a way that was like believable. You know what I mean? So like with the gore especially, we tried to really make some of that stuff like pretty intense and gnarly, and then also immediately throw it over the top so that you could laugh at it if we put the right music there. I think, you know.
Well, you know, the jokes land because when he's ripping the arm and the leg off and the dialogue, I mean, it's just, I don't know the actor's name, but the guy with the patch. He's pretty hilarious when he does.
Richard Gaylor, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's great.
He's a scary dude, man. Like he's such a lovely, quiet guy in real life.
He really is.
You point a camera at him and say, "Don't smile. Take this really seriously, Richard." And it's like he's a stone cold killer, man.
It's so true. He's the sweetest human being. And I also thought when we were shooting, I was like, he's so quiet. I know he's doing something good, but I don't know what it is. I mean, it's hard, you know, on camera sometimes, but we're so bombastic and loud, and you've got Richard just kind of like barely muttering his lines, and then watching him, I'm like, oh wow, that's what he did. That's terrifying. That's, you know, pointing a gun at us is also creepy and making us strip. Spoiler alert there, but
oh man, one of my favorite shots is when he's got the gun jammed into my face, and Rev just keeps mouthing off, and he points the gun at Ari's face, and Ari's eyes just organically got so big. I mean, it's not a real gun; it's an airsoft gun, right? But still, I mean, it's still a gun shoved in your face, and we're not used to that. And Ari's eyes just got they're like.
I already have googly eyes already, so my googly eyes went even googlier. Yeah.
We had a good time shooting that stuff, man.
Yeah,
it was very fun.
I like the sets at the guy with the patch, his mom's house. And you got the door, and then you go into his room.
Yeah,
that's
that
art
room
direction.
is disgusting. That room is gross, man. You can just feel that there's blood on the ground, and it smells funky, and like there's something, I don't know, like there was this vampire movie a while back called Transfiguration. I don't know if you saw that, and it's like this really, you know, realistic, like French foreign cinema inspired, you know, vampire movie with this little African American boy, and it's so realistic, and like a lot of our movie isn't that way. But then Audrey and David were like, well, what, I mean, how campy should this like lair be in his mom's garage? And I was like, no, it shouldn't be campy at all. Like, this should be a thing where you go, oh shit, these idiots are like in way too deep. Like that's actually real bags of stuff. And yeah, maybe he is doing drugs, but also maybe he's doing other stuff we don't even know yet with his own blood. And like, I just wanted it to be slightly gross to where you really were suddenly thrown into taking it seriously, just so the stakes were bigger, so that we could then again bust that with some fun jokes. You know.
And that scene actually has original score, that pretty much that entire scene in that bunker, whatever, of Robbie created that theme, that really spooky theme, and he did it so easily too, because most of the things we worked together, that one he did on his own, and he just followed the grossness that was there with the score, which was I love that little basement score.
Well, you talk about the bloodbath at the end of the film. I really enjoyed, like, I felt like, you know, blood was splashing on me. I felt like was a part of that as well. Because you guys were like, you look miserable, but you look like you had a good time doing it. And I was just having a good time watching it. So.
Oh yeah.
We were miserable and having a good time because it
was like 25 degrees when we shot that.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Ari got so sick he missed his bachelor party.
Yep. True story.
I mean, probably. How much fake blood do you think you like waterboarded yourself with, dude?
The thing is, I didn't realize the first day how much blood we were doing, and if I'd known, I would have worn like thermals and all this stuff underneath. But I didn't have any of that. It was just the ninja sheet and skin, and so. What was
it would have made it worse. It would have just made it worse.
All I remember is it was freezing. I felt so bad for Kevin. So Kevin Ocampo, who plays Terry, who is we just surrounded ourselves with hilarious. Like the victims in this movie are just ridiculously funny and.
That was so much blood, though, man. I felt like it was at Splashdown, just getting a bath with, going down the slide or something.
So not to get in the weeds, but like, I mean, you remember the old fire extinguishers, right? That are they're like 15 gallons, and you pump it up, and it's got water. That we had 3 of those, and then we had enough to refill them twice each. I mean, it is so much, and it just smelled like pancakes for days up there.
It was delicious. My face was red for a few. I mean, that's salt did not make that stuff come off too.
No,
not completely at least.
I mean, I barely have eyebrows as it is. Like they're so pale, but they were like really red for a few days. It looked like Hellboy. It was kind of.
I don't want to hear about it from anybody. I got them. That stuff's still in my pores a year later.
Dude, I went to stop for gas driving home. I don't think I've told this story in a Q&A yet, but like, so we were shooting at a state park between Malibu and the Valley there. And usually in LA, it's sunny and 70 most of the year. Happened to be 25 degrees. I was about to run out of gas. It was like 4 a.m, and I pulled over. And I was like, I just want to go home. I'm not going to clean any of this off. I'm just going to hop in the car and drive home. And then I see the gas gauge, and I was like, screw it. I'll pull over and get gas. And there I am, like gassing up, totally covered in blood, man. And like this dude pulled up, and he kind of looked at me, and then he just drove off. And I was like, right on. That's awesome.
Did he murder somebody, or is this a monkey?
Seriously.
Ryan's used to that anyway. It's all
yeah. No, I mean, I'm like a really low-key, happy-go-lucky guy, but sometimes I think I appear to be disgruntled and kind of like an ogre, and people misconstrue that a lot, and they're a little like, whoa, man. And I'm like, no, man, I'm just saying hi. And they're like, what?
And then you're covered in blood.
Yeah, why are you covered in blood?
Why are you covered in blood?
Ryan, your character makes references to like his past in the military. What was his secret mission? I mean, what did he do in the past in the military?
No, dude, he did nothing but work at a warehouse in Kansas and like make sure pallets of toilet paper got delivered to the right military base. He did nothing. But there was a guy who, may go one way or the other, whether that guy actually was a vampire. Hawk sure as hell believed he was. And, he was like, not going to put up with that business. But yeah, Hawk did not do covert stuff. That was all in his mind. I think he was very lucky the day that he took whatever test it took to get into the military to pass at all, because I don't think he has any mental or physical aptitude.
There was more of this in the movie, I think. We actually cut. There was more like dialogue about that, right? I think it was like why, and you were just like, it's slowing it down. We'll just cut that. But yeah,
and Rev calls him out on that. There's some scenes that we cut that were too slow and boring, but Rev called him out on being, a fake.
Right.
I don't think Hawk would even be courageous enough to like, join like a neighborhood watch, other than maybe to try to control people for a couple days, and then he would quit because he's that dude.
For monsters, he would do a neighborhood monster watch.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. And another memorable character. I mean, it plays a minor part, but the accountant. He just like, what the hell is that?
He's the best. That's Kevin Ocampo. He's Terry.
So Ari and I both did a lot of improv comedy here in LA, and Ari worked with Kevin Ocampo. I definitely at Second City, and I don't even know where else. And I worked with him at Groundlings, and we both knew him and had no idea we both knew the same guy. And I just kept talking about him. I was like, there's this guy, Kevin, and he's like Filipino Ron Swanson, man. He has the most amazing like look and mustache, and it's just so unpredictable because his voice is like, hello, I'm from the Midwest. And it's just, he's hilarious, dude. And he'd be like a perfect accountant, you know,
a homeless accountant.
Yeah. He and I did a kids show for a few years at Second City called the Really Awesome Improv Show, and he is just the most. It's effortless. He's just got like an effortless kind of talent about him. It just kind of rolls off of him. He doesn't have to do very much.
Yeah, he's like, what do you want me to do? I'm like, just do your thing, man. Like, really, just do your thing.
And I mean, he's a great beer drinker for sure. I mean, like, dude, I'm totally that guy.
Well, he's a big Philly guy, so he's all about drinking beer and sports, which is just hilarious. It's so funny. But so, you know, people have said, well, like, how did you cast, and, you know, how do you direct actors to do all this stuff? At the end of the day, the script is the script, right? And then you cast all of these people that are unpredictable, really awesome choices for the role, and then you let them have at it, man. Like, you know, I was also acting a lot of the scenes, so, you know, I'm directing maybe 10% of that stuff. You know, we were not doing playback. Like, I really trusted that these people were all people we have all done stuff with before. There was not one person we hadn't acted with before. So we all kind of knew each other's strengths, and it really enabled us to feel comfortable and just kind of play, you know.
I like also, I guess her name's Jana, her character, because she kind of like reins in you guys at certain parts of the film, and she's like the heavy thinker, I guess, in the movie. I mean, she kind of navigates where this thing goes.
She has a brain. She has a brain.
She has a brain.
She's awesome. She's also. I was mentioning earlier that Arnold, who plays your boss in the movies, is Casey Graff, is a San Antonio native, and he's an awesome actor. That's his, and that happens to be just a little gossip here. That's his wife in real life, Jana Savage.
Theo is taken. Theo is taken.
Theo is taken, guys. Sorry.
And she knows all those guys in the band too, apparently, right? Is that?
She knows all the guys in the band.
Totally.
She does. Yeah.
I really just wanted to play with this like very funny, like that she's like a total player, you know, and that Hawk thinks he's, you know, God's gift to womankind, and like Theo is like a total player, doesn't even think twice about it. And I just because I was writing her originally, and it just felt stale, and like she was waiting with bated breath or something for Hawk to do something.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is dumb. Like, this whole thing
fun.
needs to be flipped, you know?
I remember her line. It was funny. She says, "You're afraid of my polymorphous relationship."
Yeah, or polyamorous. She's like,
that,
what? I told you I went to liberal arts college, and he's just like, what?
That went on for so long too. That whole monologue that later on happens with Ryan's character getting upset about that relationship. It went on. That also derailed for a while, and I could have taken a long detour from the movie, and I think that was good to kind of edit that. But there was a lot more about the polyamorous stuff that Ryan wrote.
It's just nice. It's nice to see a male character who has like his 80s action hero assumptions about life and gender get kind of thwarted, you know. It's nice to see that, like he's just been living in a bubble. Like he has no concept of what the world is like, and like he has no idea. Like he thinks he's a stud, and like it's just not the case. It's just so funny to me. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I overwrite every script, and then
I would agree with that.
we go
And-
crazy on it, and then
way.
you know, then you cut it down, and but I think you have to, otherwise you end up with too short of a thing, and also, you know, some of it's just indicating interactions you hope will happen, but you're not sure how the cocktail may work out with the actual actors on set, so you kind of want to have it there as a placeholder, and then really, you know, let people breathe life into it, and then, you know, you can always cut it down. You know, editing, it does take forever, but it's you know, it's kind of like the last rewrite, you know.
How many shooting days did y'all have, and how long did it take to edit this?
I think total we're like 26 shooting days total, at the end of it all, and a couple days of ADR. But we had one initial shoot with I think probably 12 to 14 days, and then we went back 3 times. So initially we were scheduled for like an 18-day shoot, and we got cut off after I think 12 days. So our ending did not get shot.
Yeah, we got kicked out.
Yeah, we got kicked out of the warehouse location, which was nuts, man. Like clearly the neighbors were tired of us shooting there at night, and they reported that there was a sexual assault and maybe a murder there, and we were shooting in Inglewood, and you know,
But we were indoors. We were
indoors.
Like, nothing was happening. Like we were doing
nothing. Totally. I mean, there were probably 12 people total there, and you know, more cops than there were people on our set. Showed up, guns drawn, and we that was the end of it for that location. Did a rough cut with that, and then just like really felt like the ending that we had written was not sufficient enough. Like we had a more bombastic, more fun film than I anticipated. So then rewrote this whole kind of Magnificent Seven inspired ending, you know, on this dirt road out in the middle of nowhere by the water filtration plant, which is named after a Lost Boys character, by the way. That's a little Easter egg there on that sign.
Wait a minute, what? Wait, I didn't know this. Wait, so that the filtration is, what's it named at? Sorry guys, we're having a moment here. Wait, what's the name of it again?
It's named after Corey Haim's character from Lost Boys.
What's that name?
The Toad Brothers.
Yeah, no, it's
Sorry, I'm not trying to call you out right now. I probably knew that at one point. That's awesome.
I've forgotten it now, but it's give me a second. I'll find the damn thing for you.
It's the Toad Brothers.
It's the
Easter eggs keep on coming.
Sorry, the Sam Emerson water filtration plant. So Corey Haim plays Sam Emerson in Lost Boys, and it's
so
Sam Emerson.
I didn't even. Plant. I don't know if you ever told me that, but that's a fun Easter egg that one of the actors just.
I mean, Ari can attest that you know, I have conversations with myself and other people, and I'm not always sure what's what. Like, you know, it's just the creative flux, right? I don't know.
I think that was a great thing though on this movie, because you kind of like, you were exhausted. You did so much, and then when in post you're like, all right, you do that. Just do music, have fun.
All right, please do the music. Please do all the music. I don't want to hear about it at all till it's amazing.
which is a feat, because I think, you know, we all like to micromanage, you know, our projects and stuff, and I think you kind of trusting that, which is such a big part of the movie, I think was let us play so much. So
it nails the tone, man.
Yeah.
Nails the tone. And but to be fair, we did this with the edit as well. So we did this rough cut. We did a long pickup shoot We did 2 more pickup shoots. 5 editors worked on this movie, including myself.
Oh, wow.
We tested 6 times with an actual audience because it's a weird tone, and it was really hard to nail the timing, the flow, the pace without overdoing it, without underdoing it. And the last time we tested, we got really good feedback, and that's the cut that's here now. But it only had maybe 2 or 3 of the tracks that or similar tracks to what's in there now. And I was like, okay, if these people are getting it with this temp music, once Ari and Robbie get a hold of it, like it's a done deal. Like that'll be as good as the movie gets. Like I'm gonna walk away from this and just hand it over. And we also use this great audio post sound company called Studio Unknown. And I mean, they I don't know, they did this weird mix of like heavy-handedness and not heavy-handedness, which was unpredictable.
That's true. Yeah.
And works. I don't know. It's, I gotta say, I don't totally get. Well, I don't get music at all. Like I know when it works, but I have no concept of how to generate it. Like I don't.
It's funny that you said that because like I would agree with you that on that, but you do know, like, when we did the scoring, like we'd send 8 clips with 8 different types of music, and I'd be like, I don't think that 8th one Ryan's gonna like. It's too Scooby-Doo. It's not scary enough. It's not like threatening enough. And of course, he loves that's the version he loved. So it's like it was just unpredictable is really the best word, I think, of just like what you were gonna like and what was gonna work with the movie. I think it was just following the funny, really.
Yeah. And I mean, that was the thing for the whole film, right? I mean,
yeah, follow the scary, follow the funny. That's pretty much it, right?
I mean, I think at first I was trying to follow the scary too much.
You were, but
which was
but I think
denying all this fun stuff.
When you got these guys dressed up like the Karate Kid in a ninja outfit, trying to thwart a vampire, it's hard to take it too seriously sometimes.
I know. I was like, I'm so afraid this is just going to be too campy, and people are going to think it's like Nickelodeon. And you were like, no, they're not going to think that, dude. Like,
well, I was just like, we'll go super serious for the stuff that's supposed to be campy, and then we'll just go super light for the stuff that's supposed to be. I don't know.
Because we shot the serious stuff pretty serious, like some of that stuff is gnarly. Like you're like up close seeing blood. It's not even. It's like less campy than Hatchet or something like that. It's not like so crazy where you're like, oh, this is totally fake. I can laugh at this. You're like, oh, is this fake or is this real?
Yeah,
how much blood could come out of a jugular? Like,
right, and I think in this scene where the guy with a patch, he's talking about how he got he became a vampire from the older vampire, the Nosferatu character.
Yeah.
That was the serious scene. I was like, okay, it's a little shift.
It got pretty nuts.
Very dramatic. Yeah.
It's like,
we figured we needed a crescendo. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, I was like hoping that that was my father, guys, by the way. Yeah, that's Ari's dad. He wanted to be in the movie. He wanted to do it. He
wanted to be in the movie. Throw him in, just put him in a wheelchair and let him get stabbed.
He's like, "Are you serious? You're gonna put me in a wheelchair and stab me?"
He was so proud of his line. He was so proud of the dialogue he did too. Bless.
Never humans spawn.
Yeah,
that's pretty great. I like the filter they put on his voice.
It was awesome.
It's totally like Lovecraftian. It's like weird and just off,
Yeah.
Hey, so you got to talk about like the look, because what really captured my attention was first of all, the opening sequence of the tough guy in the alley. I loved it, and then you have your title sequence. I was like, oh, I love this. This is gonna be a film for me. This is speaking to me. I was like, yay,
Hell yeah, man. So Yeah, so from day one, I wanted like really 80. I love this movie Maniac Cop, right? With Bruce is in it, and it's like really cheesy, like 87 bad awesomeness. And they just had these great titles. And the guy and I kept trying to generate them myself, and they're just terrible. And then I the guy who did this CGI, I kept lamenting to him. I was like, because there's quite a bit of CGI blood in there, believe it or not. There's a lot of practical, but like the stuff that throws it over the top, there's like a lot of logo removal and reflection, and we removed people from all of these shots all over the place, and just to keep it clean, right? And I kept lamenting to him, like, dude, this is just, I really want these 80s, like, chrome slasher Nightmare on Elm Street stuff, but like not to like rip it off, to kind of like make fun of it, but in a way that's an homage, that's like really like, yes, we're taking this back. And he was like, dude, I just work with this guy, Jared Hageman, who he's called Chrome and Lighting. Check him out. And I checked him out. And so he did all the stuff for Kung Fury. He's doing all the new stuff for Kung Fury. He's, like every band that's doing 80s stuff, he's done all of their all of their logos and key art and everything. He went nuts with that stuff. And I sent him, I think I sent him that clip, Ari, where you and I are seeing the band and you say you sharted. I think I sent him that clip, and he was like, what?
That hooked him in.
He was like, what? He's like, it's hilarious, but I don't get how it's 80s. I was like, trust me, dude. And then I sent him that opening clip with Eric, who's Eric Jenkins, who plays the MMA guy. And he was like, okay, I totally get it. And he's like, I got you, bro. He's like, I got this, no problem. Synthwave, like just crazy 80s, like let me have at it. You're gonna feel like it's too much, but trust me, it's gonna be just enough. And once he sent me this logo, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to find somebody who can make a weird ass poster just as strange. And like I loved Tom Hodge, the dude design stuff, who ended up doing that stuff. That like I didn't think, like he did The Heat with Sandra Bullock and like all these big movies, but he's based out of Sheffield, England. And like I looked him up online, and people are like, yeah, like he's an amazing artist and all this stuff. And it turned out, again, our CGI guy had totally worked with him. And I was like, that's woo. What are the chances? He's like, yeah, I told him about the movie, like send him a thing. And like I talked to him, and he was like, grumpy old dude, like, whatever, yeah, I'll work on your dumb thing. And I was like, this is perfect. Like he already knows how to make fun of it in the right way, but like in his email tone. And Ari and I, like as a last second afterthought, shot a bunch of stills of us standing back to back for 2 minutes at the end of a day against a green screen. Didn't think about it, sent it to him. He came back and was like, I hate this Chrome and Lighting logo, but you can put it on top of my poster. I never want to talk to you again. I was like, yes.
The poster, it looks like Big Trouble in Little China. It has that feel to it.
Yes. Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
I showed that to my kids recently, and they were like, Dad, this is not good. I'm like, it's so good. It's so good. It's bad. It's so bad. It's good.
A lot of parents have apparently gone through that. They showed their kids. I saw somebody showing their kid Big Trouble in Little China. They didn't get it, and I was trying to think, like, it is kind of a weird movie, I guess.
It's very weird.
No, look, I'm a high school teacher. That's my day job. And kids these days, I'm sorry, they don't have taste. They don't.
Dude, you know what's funny about the Richard Gaylor who plays Jasper? He's an elementary school teacher. And I was like, do you ever give the kids that look? He was like, I mean, only the really bad ones. Yeah, I don't understand millennial taste, man, but weirdly, I mean, Ari, you can attest to this. They were all chatting during our NOLA horror screening. There was like a chat room, and they were all like weirdly trashing the movie and kind of liking it too in this weird way.
And they were actually I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's tons of people who are gonna who might trash the movie. I didn't mean for that the way that came out. But no, they were actually saying nice things about it. Yeah. They were like quoting it, and they were like, it's interesting when you see that the lines that they love or the characters they love. You know, they love Terry. They kept talking about that's the Kevin Ocampo. That's the accountant. They were like, when's he coming back on? And then they were quoting Rant. That was fun to do. Sorry to get off topic, but the fact that the virtual festivals have been interesting, but to do a virtual festival where people are commenting in real time, like and are laughing kind of in real time, to get that experience, that was awesome. Sorry.
I feel like I know it's tough for the festivals because it's like out of nowhere suddenly, like you're not having live screenings, your subscription audience isn't showing up. But it's a weird thing, like technically people from all over the world could like watch like a no budget indie movie at a festival and discover it in this weird way. I mean, if there's a way to monetize it, I think is the issue. And I mean, this is what it is with all streaming, right? But like, millennials.
I think I fall under the borderline of millennial and the other.
I'm Gen X, bro. I'm Gen X.
Okay, boomer. I'm just kidding.
Okay, boomer. Well, I mean, I got a 12-year-old kid, man. I'm practically a boomer now. It's really tragic.
He's got two wonderful, beautiful ginger
redheads.
Yeah.
They really want to be in movies, but only to torture people in the movie. Like they have no interest in being like great actors or anything like that. They're like, wait,
I wonder where they get that from.
Spray blood at people or
That's funny.
Yeah. I was like, no, guys, this is an art. Like it's an art. And they're like, come on, Dad. Like you're calling what you do an art? And I was like, yes. Damn it.
We're having the last laugh now.
I know.
Kids.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, there's definitely some of that Scooby-Doo in there, right? I mean,
well, that's what I tell people. I think. The film to me is like adult Scooby-Doo. It's like Scooby-Doo meets Lost Boys, meets Napoleon Dynamite, meets The Notebook. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Yeah. It's a lot of different things. Go ahead.
It would have been fun to have more Notebook-ish scenes.
Some romance.
Just to make fun of it, though. Only to make fun of it.
We could have totally used a scene in the rain. That would have been amazing. It would have been expensive, but it would have been fun. Yeah.
No, I mean, this is just water and somebody standing off camera.
With our luck, I guess. Yeah, right.
It'd be Audrey with a water hose spraying me in the face like, you idiot. Ah.
I have to say, the art direction MacGyvered some really cool stuff with this movie.
They are the best.
They deserve so much credit.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 2-person team who did, wardrobe, makeup, and gore.
Everything.
And I mean, to be fair, we were all pitching in. We were all moving lights. We're all we're all doing all this stuff. I mean, we're only really doing 8-hour days. We weren't really doing these crazy long indie film days. So, like, it wasn't. I don't know. That's the one thing I hate about indie movies is that people will shoot for like 18 hours, and I'm just. I just don't think anybody can really get anything good done past 8 hours. I just don't buy it. Not if you're really putting your full effort into it. I mean, Ari and I were like, you know, we are like wrestling in some of the shots and like
Well, we're also like
running around.
The work doesn't stop for us. I mean, for a lot of us, either when we leave. I mean, because wardrobe's got, they're up half the night doing their thing, and then we're doing our thing, whatever that is. So
I'm like downloading footage, better back this up. Oh my God,
Right.
where's the call sheet? People are like, dude, just we all know what time we're gonna be there. Relax.
yeah, that is true. We did try to make it very, very professional, but we're like working with people who've known us our entire lives, and they're just like,
Yeah.
That being said, everyone, it was still. I mean, it felt like it was.
It's all the like the goal is to spend the most time putting stuff that will be on the screen instead of like messing around with all this other stuff. So like,
Are you gonna make a part 2 with the zombies?
That's the question, right?
So I have tentatively planned post-COVID because I just don't know how the heck we would do it. I mean, I just don't know how we would do it otherwise and be safe. Like my wife is immunocompromised and my oldest daughter is, and I just I don't know. So I don't want to take the risk. It's not worth it. But literally the second that it's safe to do it, I have tentatively planned Hawk and Rev 2 and 3. 2 is all about werewolves, and 3 is all about demons.
I love it.
And as we know, there's no spoilers, but there's a bit of a twist at the end of Hawk and Rev, with Rev maybe not supernatural abilities.
Maybe not though. So don't think of it too much of a support.
I mean,
maybe he does.
Yeah, he might.
He might become part vampire. He might not.
He might. Yeah. But I mean, he's a vegan too, though. So it's a whole thing, man. Like, And I like, in the same way we kind of played with vampire lore and kind of made fun of some vampire movies in a nice, respectful way because we love them. We'll probably do the same thing with vampires, and then, with werewolves, and then in part 3, I think it'd be super fun to do it with demons, and at that point, Hawk may or may not have a supernatural power that may or may not be wolf related.
Oh,
we'll see.
Oh,
love it. Hey, there was a film out of I went to UT. There was a film out of Austin in the early 90s when we had our festival. We started in 94, but I remember it was like JFK was a zombie, and then LBJ was a mummy, and then somebody else was a werewolf.
Wasn't it from Evil Dead? The guy. Wait a minute.
Was it Bruce Campbell in it?
No, it was a short film. It was in black and white. They shot it on 16 millimeter.
Oh, okay.
That was when he was Elvis.
It was really cool. I can't remember the name of the film though, but they shot on 16.
That's real stuff.
Yeah.
I still have a 16 millimeter camera here. I mean, I can't find film to save my damn life. I've been trying to give this thing away. I'm like, because
I'll take it.
Dude, it's like a 90-pound box.
We could talk later. That's fine.
It literally is a 90-pound box.
I'll be honest. I'll have no idea. I mean, I'm not. You're far more tech savvy than a. You're far more tech savvy than I.
It's far easier to use than a digital camera, though. Like, I mean, these are all these like news cameras, right? These old film cameras that the news used. I mean, anybody could shoot those. Literally.
Yeah.
You open it up wide open, make sure it's in focus, and
you should say Ryan. I just going off of that. It's funny because there is a lot of playing and a lot of in this movie, but Ryan does. You frame till it's dead. I mean, every shot in that movie. I'm
OCD about this stuff. I'm obsessed.
Is super. Yeah, like you are obsessed. I mean, I think it's a good thing because from there we can. But you really do like. You work with the DP and making sure it looks exact. You start off with looking exactly how you kind of envisioned it, and then you kind of play from there. But you do a lot of work ahead of time, and I know most directors do. But like even with this type of movie, especially, you really did. Like
previs, baby.
I was like, it's a compliment. Yeah,
I appreciate that. Previs. So like one of the ways that I can let go and actually act, right?
yeah.
I gotta previs the movie, and I gotta have storyboards that I know that at the minimum, if we get what's on those boards, we have a movie. And I don't want it just to feel like a web series. I want it to have like this cohesive feel. I love film. Like I love I love Ozu, right? This Japanese director that would shoot low angle and everything centered. Like I love stuff that he did. I don't want to copy him, but like Wes Anderson definitely quotes him, but I also don't want to be like Wes. I want to like have our own kind of thing. I love the Coen brothers, but I kind of want to be like even slightly more experimental than them. And I mean, this keyed the music as well. And I just felt like if we could get all of these things firing on all cylinders, right, it would be a really cool movie. And yeah, thankfully it all worked out. And it's taken a village, man.
And you knocked it out of the park, guys.
I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, that's so awesome, Adam.
That means the world.
Yeah, I was just look, we submitted to a lot of festivals, man, and like I submitted the rough cut and multiple rough cuts, and like I assumed we'd probably play some horror festivals, but I was amazed that like San Antonio took us because you guys are, you guys have big movies, dude. You guys have been around for 26 years, and like I don't know, like I thought maybe we were too junior of a movie or not filmically, serious enough, or I don't know, but maybe that's my own anxiety also as like a director, because everybody's, you have like FOMO, right? And you're like reading about whatever, director is doing this new serious sci-fi movie or whatever, and this movie about this particular group's plight and their
Right.
individual stories. And like I've tried to write this stuff, man, but it is not it's so like it's not my best stuff. Like my best stuff is the stuff that balances comedy with either like legit horror or like situational horror, because for some reason that blend like landed in my brain when I moved here from Zimbabwe as a 10-year-old and just suddenly got this influx of every single bit of media I had not seen, for the first 10 years of my life. And that just sort of all implanted. And like when I try to do the serious 90s, Sundance-y type stuff, it just rings false.
Well, it's not as fun. I think. I mean,
that's for sure.
I would say. I mean, well, I was saying off camera before that.
You're still off camera, man.
I'm still off camera. No, that was the silver. I was like, this part of the silver lining, and I know people keep using that phrase over and over again with this movie, is that like it is really just a silly, shut off your brain and enjoy movie. You don't have to think too much, and I mean that in the best possible way. And I think that's what I think part of the reason why the movie is getting some of the good, the good reception it's getting, because I think we just embraced it's just a silly Scooby-Doo movie, and hopefully you enjoy it.
I was impressed. I think Film Threat gave you guys a good mention. I love this movie. It's a midnight movie, and I totally suggest it with the three tall boys.
Totally. Totally.
Yes. Thank you.
I sent a screener recently to a really legit Hollywood producer, and they were like, "What should I expect from this?"
Prison.
And I said, "Well, if I were you, I'd open a bottle of wine or roll a particular thing if that's legal where you happen to reside, and just really,
Even if it's not.
let your cares just sort of roll off your back, man. Just enjoy the ride, because it's supposed to be like a ride. I mean, that was the point of balancing the comedy and the horror. I was like, all that work and that
no
music, like giving that like that push and pull with the music and all of that stuff is to give you that kind of ultimate just fun thing, right? When you think things are going to be super serious, we're going to hit you with like a really, really dumb line, you know, which will surprise you, hopefully, and you'll enjoy it. You will derive enjoyment, you know.
Yeah.
The world is so serious. We don't need any more of that. Well, definitely, it's not going to come from me. Not to say that it's not important to make films about really serious stuff. I think it is, and I watch them all the time. I just can't bring myself to make any of them, honestly.
Well, it's a great film for any film festival that, like you just mentioned, like, because we were at some point we were playing too many serious films. Like, no. Bring it back a little. Let's dial it back a little bit. Let's,
it's a balance.
It's exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is an icebreaker. This is an icebreaker movie, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Opening
That's
night,
awesome.
midnight movie for sure.
Well, thank you, man. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Adam. That's really cool.
We wish you the very best. We hope you win awards, and of course, we hope you sell it. I know you will sell it soon, and we'll look at when you guys do sell it, let us know. We'll put it on blast for you.
Dude, on that note, I mean, I think North America is locked down. We will be out on every single service in either March or April, including cable on demand, which for a movie of our size is a big deal. Like, we're going to be like 80% of the cable boxes in North America.
Oh, great.
iTunes, Amazon, literally everything. Hopefully Shudder maybe after that. And I'm hoping we'll get something really good for international, because I feel like, the folks in Europe and Asia love horror, and they also love dumb comedy. So, hey, come on down. Like,
and dumb Americans. Yeah.
Hawk is a perfect. He's just perfect for them to just make fun of. Like, please. Like, like the crazy thing is, in today's day and age, when you're like watching the news, you're seeing too many Hawks, and I'm like, dude, we need a little more Rev action in there. Like, this is the yin and the yang,
You got that patch. I love the patch. The come and take it day.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Or don't do the snake thing. What is that?
Don't tread on me, baby. Don't tread
Ryan
on me.
You went to town with those patches, man. Yeah.
Well, I was just like, how do you visually like signify this? Because listen, Hawk says it. He flips around, man. At one point in time, he's an anarchist. Sometimes he's a liberal. Sometimes he's a conservative. He is sort of. He's a tourist, actually. He kind of just does whatever works for him, which is kind of funny.
That's kind of similar to someone else we know. Yeah.
but
we don't really know him.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people do that, and I think, like, my dad, who's like a mid 70s, thinks of himself as a libertarian, but is also like really socially liberal. Like, he got the stuff about Hawk talking about his brakes and all this stuff. Like, he just thought that was so funny, and I was like, that's funny. I nailed the old dad joke deal there. I don't know, man. So funny.
Well, congratulations. I like that brake joke too. I was like, where was he going with this? With the time cards? I'm like, what the WTF? I'm like, what the hell? Is he talking about car brakes? His truck? I mean, the van brakes? What? Oh, he's talking about his job. Of course.
He's literally talking about 10 minutes where he can go outside, and look for vampires.
Brian doesn't know the meaning of overkill, which I think is a good thing.
No, I like I'm like a carpenter. Everything looks like a nail, and I've got a big hammer in my hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and so Ari and I were in a improv thing together called Double Pistols, where we played, I don't know, a million characters, cops and criminals on stage all at the same time, and basically it was all about overkill. You know.
That is true. That is true. Yeah.
I mean, I tried the subtler versions of comedy. I just don't think people actually buy that coming from me. You know, which is fine.
I think you learn to play to your strengths. I mean, I think you just gotta. Yeah, I don't know. You were just having. I will say this: you were having a good time. You were really having fun, and I think that's what. When I know it's so cliche, but like, I think when you start off with a set script and then we get to play, and if the crew are laughing, if people are
yeah, we're working with a bunch of improvisers, so we're all actually listening to each other as the characters, as opposed to like a lot of actors who are just waiting to say their line. We're all listening. So like the comebacks and the little improvisations are actually real. Like which is an interesting thing as an actor when you're in the scene. It's really, it's amazing.
Was the ladder scene, was that improvised? It seemed like, I mean, I was howling at the TV in that scene when you just do the cha-cha. I was like, oh, these guys are nuts.
with the ladder.
No, I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, I don't think it was as dirty in the script. Like, it got dirtier. They're actually much worse versions. Where we're just getting. That was the scene where I was talking, where Hawk's bragging to Rev about getting laid.
Oh, that's right. That was in the script. That was That was in the script.
Yeah.
I think you toned it down, actually. Which there is toned down version. You had far worse in the script. I feel like you had far worse. And I was actually starting to get annoyed as a human, not just as like, I was like, okay, that's enough, right? That's enough talking about
so
it.
Sexist.
We're just not going to make the cut.
Stop. Just stop. We're not going to use this at all.
Yeah.
It was like, but I'm just trying to piss your character off, man.
Each one of time Rev slaps you, I don't think none of that's in the script. That was just just like, what would happen if Rev just slapped Hawk out of nowhere?
You were like, hey, I really feel like I need to slap you right now. It's like,
that's what I said.
I'm like, okay. I mean, just don't do it too hard. You're like, I don't want to do a stage slap. I want it to look real. And I went, well, me too, but I want to be able to do another take. So like, if I have a black eye, like.
We did. It was fun.
It was pretty fun. Yeah, 2 and 3. We got to do it, man.
Yeah. People have been asking that.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it greatly. Thanks for being with us tonight. And if you haven't seen it, it's on with us this week. Hawk and Rev, Vampire Slayers. Go watch it, and it's coming to North America soon.
Yes, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Ari. Later, guys.
You, love you.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah. Awesome. Woohoo!